Hello dear friends, this is Dr. Diptesh Patel and I'll be teaching you jet propulsion and aircraft engineering. This is lecture 4 of principles of jet propulsion, and here in this lecture I'm going to cover a couple of subtopics such as turboprop engine and turbofan engine. So first of all, let's begin with the turboprop engine. Turboprop engine was widely popular during the World War II. It was developed during the World War II, and even nowadays it is used for the smaller aircraft. So, as we know that the turbo jet engine has a poor performance at low speed and takeoff conditions that we have seen in previous lecture. These were the limitations of the turbojet engine. So a higher speed and thrust per unit mass flow of a fuel can be obtained by increasing the mass flow of air, and this also result in better fuel economy. This fact is utilized in turboprop engine. A turboprop engine is also called a prop jet engine. So here you can see it has six different components. Five of them that we have seen already in turbojet engine. We have seen the diffuser, compressor, combustion chamber, turbine, and the exhaust nozzles in turbojet engine. But the additional component is attached here, which is known as the propeller. A propeller it attached with the compressor with reduction gear, and the function of reduction gear is to reduce the speed of the propeller. Now, all the different components work as we have seen in turbojet engine, except the propeller. Propeller is used to push the large amount of air in backward directions to achieve the higher thrust. A turboprop engine consists of a diffuser, compressor, as we have seen, combustion chamber, turbine, exhaust nozzle, and a propeller that is ultimately coupled with the turbine, and it is driven by turbine. Now the airflow increased by propeller in addition to the thrust produced by the exhaust nozzle. So we'll get the additional thrust by the propeller, and that would improve the performance of the engine, especially at low speed. Now let's begin with the working. First of all, the air enters the diffuser from the surrounding, where kinetic energy of air reduces and pressure increased. Then air is compressed in compressor before passing to the combustion chamber, where once it's entered into the combustion chamber, the fuel is uh, supplied here, and the combustible mixture is ignited, and due to that the combustible gases are generated. The compressor in the turboprop is an axial flow compressor. The product of combustion, which are the flue gases, expand in a two-stage turbine. One stage of the turbine drives the compressor and the other drives the propeller. So here we require additional energy to drive the propeller as well. Hence, less energy available for expansion in nozzle. It has been seen almost 70 to 80% energy is being consumed by the turbine, while the remaining 20 to 30% energy would goes into the expansion for the expansion in nozzle. So the let's say around 20 to 30% energy only contribute to produce the thrust by velocity difference of gases leaving and air entering the aircraft. The propeller also provides the useful thrust, which is an additional thrust, and the reduction gearbox is used between the propeller and turbine shaft to reduce the RPM at propeller shaft. Now you can see the another picture of the turboprop engine, which is also a schematic diagram of the turboprop engine, where you can see the propeller it's attached along with the compressor, and that is driven by the turbine. We have the additional gearbox as well, which reduce the speed of the turboprop. So that is known as the reduction gear. Right. Now let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the turboprop engine. In turboprop engines, propeller are more efficient at low speed. So we have an ability to employ such kind of engine in the aircraft which fly at the low speed, and it is more economical as well. Second advantage, that it has an ability to produce the greater amount of power as compared to the other engines such as IC engine, with less weight, noise and maintenance. So if you consider the weight, noise and maintenance, it is quite lower than the IC engine, though it has a few disadvantages too. And let's go through the disadvantages. The first disadvantage, that it can be only used for the short distance flights, so that's why it cannot be employed in commercial flights. However, it is widely used in the small aircraft which is flying for the short distances. Then it has propeller as well as reduction gear, and that is an additional equipment which increase the cost and weight of the aircraft. Then third disadvantage, that at high speed the performance of the aircraft will reduces, and that's why it is mostly popular for the low speed and short distance flight. And fourth disadvantage, that if you compare this turboprop engine with the IC engine, then it is quite expensive than the IC engine. Okay, so this is all about the turboprop engine. Now let's discuss the turbofan engine. You might have seen a turbofan engine quite often because it is widely used in aircraft for the commercial flights. It is widely used in aircraft for the commercial flights. So the turbofan engine is a combination of turboprop and turbojet engine. It is a combination of turboprop and turbojet engine. It has the fan which is attached into the front side or frontal area of the engine, which works pretty much similar as a turboprop engine. But here the thrust that we are getting because of the bypass air or because of the air is quite higher as compared to the turboprop engine. So let's understand how does that work. Here you can see the fan which is attached into the front side of the compressor, and through the fan the air is pushed into the backward directions, where almost the bypass ratio is considered as a 8:1. So all, like, large amount of air would go surrounding by the engine, while the small amount of air gets enter into the engine. So air from the atmosphere which is entering into the turbofan engine employing a low pressure ducted fan, and air after passing through the fan is divided into two streams, namely primary air and the secondary air. The primary air flow through the turbofan engine consisting of compressor, combustion chamber, turbine and exhaust nozzles. Now remaining stuffs or remaining components work as we have seen already in turbojet engine, right? The air which is coming through the turbofan would enter into the compressor, which is get compressed over then there is a combustion chamber where the fuel is ignited with the presence of oxygen in air, and then we have the turbine where partial expansions takes place. Now here the function of turbine is to run the compressor, fan and the other auxiliary devices, while the remaining uh, gases gets expanded into the nozzle to get the thrust. Okay, so this is what happened with the primary air which is entering into the engine, while the secondary air, which is also known as the bypass air, you can see that is the cold air at relatively lower pressure, and that is flows around the turbofan engine and expand in the fan nozzles. Hence, additional thrust is produced because of the expansions of the air. Now, the thrust produced by the secondary air is at lower velocity, and thrust produced by the primary air, which is passing through the engine, is at much higher velocity. Therefore, the total thrust produced in the engine is the sum of thrust produced by the ramming air and the thrust sum of the thrust produced by the primary air and the secondary air, and the ratio of mass flow takes of mass flow rates of cold air and hot air is known as the bypass ratio. Okay, so here you can see the schematic diagram as well of the turbofan engine, which we have seen in previous slide, and this is actual looks like the turbofan engine, which is mostly used for the uh, commercial flights. This is also a engine, turbofan engine, where you can see the large diameter fans or blades are used in front area of the engine, and that provides the additional thrust, and therefore it is quite useful, especially at the lower speed as well, because we get the additional thrust by pushing the secondary air. Right. So as we have seen already in turboprop engine, if we increase the thrust, we need to work on both mass in accelerations, and therefore, uh, if we able to accelerate a large mass of air to a lower velocity, we should be able to get the higher thrust. So all the modern commercial flights work on these principles, and they employ the turbofan engine, excluding the Concorde plane. Right? Now, because of the large inlet fill moves, a larger amount of air at lower velocity can be pushed into the backward directions, and that would give us the higher thrust, right? And therefore it is even more reliable even at lower exhaust speed. Uh, so it has a less noise as compared to the turbojet engine. However, it has a certain disadvantages too, and the major disadvantage of the turbofan engine is that it can produce higher drag because of the large frontal area of the fan that produce the drag at high speed, especially if you consider the examples of the supersonic flight, and that drag forces would be considered as an enemy to of the thrust, because it is a resistance of the thrust, and it ultimately spoil all the aerodynamics of the aeroplanes. All right, so this is all for this lecture. If you have any doubt, you can write down in the comment box. Thank you very much.